Here's the Tustin Ranch condo homeowner report going into November 2021. There's a few things that you need to know as a condo owner in Tustin Ranch going forward through the rest of the year. My name is Anthony Nitz. I'm with eXp Realty. I've been selling and helping people buy homes in the Tustin area since 1997. So what we're going to talk about, some pricing data. We're going to talk about some sales data, and then we're also going to talk about predictions, what's going to happen next, okay? Again, this is for pricing data for condos in the Tustin Ranch area. If you have a specific community or neighborhood or association and you want a special report just for that association, feel free to reach out to me. We're happy to do it, give you that information, no cost, no obligation, of course. If you like, go to the official Rustin and Tustin YouTube channel and subscribe there. We would appreciate that. Okay, moving forward. So what we're going to look at here is we're going to take a look at some of the sale or pricing data here. And so what we do, guys, just so you know, is we're looking at a 5-month history of the price data, just so we can see if there's any trends going on that we need to be aware of that could raise up any red flags or green flags for that matter. We're looking at median and average on a lot of this data, because I know my mathematician friends are going, oh my gosh, why are you even looking at average? It's because the data set that we have is so small to get a good accurate reflection of what a good median is very difficult to do right now. You'll see what I'm talking about when we start getting into the numbers. And so if we start taking a look at the data and we say, okay, June we had 687 was the median and average was 749. So you can see pretty big disparity there. 680, 679, right there in the same vein. 802, 751. So we peaked out at 802 as the median in August, and then we peaked out as the average at 763 in September. And in October we're at 766 and 689 for the average. Okay, so when we take a look at this data right here and we're kind of going, okay, what does this all mean? You know, we're kind of definitely seeing an increase in the median, definitely, and so that's good. The average kind of bounced around all over the place, but generally speaking, hanging around in the mid-7 range, okay? So I think we're probably okay to say that that is good for you, the homeowner, to know that you still are very solid on pricing in the Tustin Ranch area for your condo. Let's look at the sold percentage of list price. So how many people are paying above the asking price? Good thing to know, so you just kind of get a good perception of where the buyer's mind's at right now in the buyer pool, and are they overpaying for it or are they underpaying for the house as well? You take a look at June, people were paying 5.4% above the asking price. Okay, in July 105, 103.9 in August, 101.9 in September, and 104.3. So I think that that's a pretty good indicator, again, that people are definitely condos in the Tustin Ranch area are definitely still in demand, that people are willing to pay a little bit above asking price. But keep in mind, it's probably from people who are using good pricing strategies. They're not overly pricing their property just because, and they go, well, gosh, I've got a $700,000 condo. I'm going to, put it on the market for $900,000 and then, see where it goes from there. No, people are pricing it at market value and then letting buyers decide how much more it will go over. And it looks like it's going 4 to 5% above the actual asking price. So that's good for you. And then what we've got is price per square footage sold. Again, just a good indicator just to kind of tell, are things staying pretty consistent as far as sold homes in the area. In June, you're at 515, July, you're at 516, August, 548, 549 in September, and 556. So we definitely are having an increase in cost per square footage going forward. So that's a good thing. Again, more demand. People are definitely paying. We can increase prices a little bit as we continue to move forward. That is definitely a good thing for homeowners, so they get the green arrow. So again, now we're going to look at sales data. Again, this is just for the condos in 92782. And let's take a look at new listings. Now, keep in mind something here interesting. There's 4,095 condos in Tustin Ranch. Okay, and this is an important number to know, because when you start looking at the numbers that we have up here, you're going to go, holy smokes, that's nothing compared to the number of condos that we have. So when we're talking about new listings, in June there was 24 new listings. So really relatively small percentage of these homes here of the total number of condos. And again, these are just condos. So 18 in July, 22 in August, and then in September, 12 listings, new listings in the market. In October, 11 homes out of 4,095 homes in Tustin Ranch came on the market in October. So do you think that means that there's very little competition? Yeah, very, very little competition in that respect. And obviously, as a result, we get the big green arrow. Oh, I know I flagged this. Why do we have such a jump here and then such a drop? Probably because in September 14th, what happened? We had that recall election. And I think a lot of people were kind of speculating, going, I don't know, should we stay or should we go? And a lot of people were kind of going, I think we're not going to hang around to see what happens one way or the other. Let's just go ahead and sell and get out of here. So I think that was a factor. And that's why we have also a drop at the end of in September and October. Also, we're going into the holiday season. It's traditional, it's typical for fewer people to put their house on the market unless they're like really serious, ready to, we gotta sell now, okay? So again, yeah, big green arrow up for you guys, for homeowners. And then we're gonna talk about days on market. Days on market is really important to understand as well. So 9 days in June, 11 days in July, 12 days in August, 10 days in September, and 10 days in October. So I'm calling this a wash because there's no big trend up or down. But what this does tell us is that if you put your house on the market in Tustin Ranch or condo, you can expect that it's probably going to take, a week to, 10, 12 days before you get a viable offer, because that's what days on the market means. It means that you're not getting a viable offer for 10 to 12 days. What it doesn't mean, oh, I sold my house, now 12 days later I'm moving. No, what it means is it took 12 days to get an offer, you accepted it and went into escrow. Now you got an escrow period, 30, 45 days, give or take, okay? So let's take a look at properties that fell out of escrow. Now, this to me is just mind-boggling why these numbers are looking the way that they're looking. But it's important to understand that what I'm about to show you can be completely avoided as far as homes falling out of escrow. So what this means here is that in June, of the 24 properties that were listed in June, 10 of them received an offer that they and their agent agreed, hey, this is a good offer, let's take it, and then fell out of escrow. I'm going to tell you something. In all the time I've been doing this since 1997. If 41% of the homes that I listed fell out of escrow with the first offer, I wouldn't be in this business anymore. So I have my ideas of why I think it's happening like this. If you have questions, we can definitely talk about it, and I can tell you how we can avoid all of that, headache, because it is frustrating. It's creates a lot of anxiety. July, you were at 55% of the new listings that came in that got an offer, and then 36% in August, 75% of the new listings in in September. 75% of those listings. Crazy. That is insane to me, and you shouldn't have to deal with that. Now in October, it was only 18%. So not sure what that means, but that could change because there could be properties that were newly listed towards the end of October that started the escrow process and fell out. We'll see on next month's report. So that is just crazy to me, and you don't have to deal with that. Let me know if I can help you out with answering how to avoid that. Closed sales, let's take a look at closed sales. So June we had 17, July we had 27, and August 19, and September 16. And then in October we had 15 closed. So this is good. This is in favor of you, the homeowner, because what it does is it says that, you know, there's more homes are closing than what's coming on the market or what's coming available as far as new listings go. And so the good news of that is keeping the inventory down, the demand up, and allowing you to get those 105% above asking price offers. And then there's months supply. So what does months supply mean? It simply means that if we took no new listings in 92782, there's not a new single condo listing that came on the market during that time frame going forward, how long would it take to sell off the current inventory in the 92782 area for condos? June, it was 0.7 months, which roughly translates to about 21 days. 0.6 months, 0.8, 0.4 months. So what that means is about 12 days. So about 12 days, every single home that's for sale, condo that's for sale in the 92782 zip code is gone. It's done. It's sold. Okay. And then in October, it was 0.5 months, so 15 days. So you can see that, you know, homes are definitely getting sold, you know, quick. They're not staying on the market long. They're not filling up the inventory. And so that's just a big green arrow up for homeowners or condo owners in the 92782 zip code. And then now predictions. Let's talk about predictions. So in 92782. So normally I would just give this a big green flag, good to go. Everything's great for homeowners, condo owners in the 92782 zip code. But hold on, you're going to enjoy these predictions I'm about to give you, but what I'm about to tell you is even better. Everybody knows that when you're selling a house in tip-top condition, you're always going to get a much higher sales price and more profit. But did you also know that there is a way to do all the repairs and rehab, no matter how big or small, with no upfront cost? Let me show you how. It's important to understand that most buyers, when they buy a house, they're buying at the top of their available price range. And so if the median home sale price in Orange County, we'll call it $1 million. We know it's higher than that, but we'll call it, if the median is $1 million and your house is in disrepair, what will end up happening is that at least 2/3 of those buyers, if these were all the buyers in Orange County, would go away. They would disappear. And so now this is all the buyers that you're left with, because most buyers, like I said, buy at the top of their price range, and that usually means that they don't have an extra $50,000 or $150,000 laying around to completely rehab a house that they just bought, that now they're going to have to wait weeks or even longer to get into the house, and increasing their expenses even further. And even if they did have that money, they probably want to spend it on furniture and decor for their new home to make it their own, right? And of the ones who would still consider a house that's in disrepair or a fixer-up or something like that, you could even take away a good part of those, because what they're probably going to do is they're probably going to go, you know what? We're probably just going to pass on this one because, same reason. The money that's going to come out of their pocket afterwards, unless they're getting a really, really, really good deal. And so then what's left is you have investors. You have investor buyers, or people who are looking to take your house at a really low price, who are willing to do all those repairs after the fact. And as a result, you have fewer buyers interested in your house who are going to get you a whole lot less money and less profit in your pocket, and you're going to walk away disappointed. But you can have all these repairs done and have it done with no upfront cost whatsoever and get you a whole lot more profit. This is an actual real-world case study. These are both real houses. They just so happen to be right next door to each other. They both came on the market at exactly the same time, and they both featured similar qualities, so they were very comparable. House A was asking $1,180,000, which they reduced from $1,225,000. House B was asking $1,525,000, which they increased from $1,475,000. House A was not rehabbed at all. It was in good shape and it was well maintained, but it was very outdated. House B was fully rehabbed. House A took 35 days to sell. House B took 2 days to sell. House A sold at $424.16 per square foot. House B sold at $533.96 per square foot. House A had 5 bedrooms and a 3-car garage. House B only had a 4 bedrooms and 2-car garage. House A was even offering more commission to the agent than House B. Now, if we just make some assumptions about the loan balance of being 0 on each one, so we can just get a same net proceeds, and the rehab cost on House A was 0 because they did no rehab. House B, they spent about $150,000. House A, the closing costs estimate is about 1% for Orange County. Same thing with House B. So their closing costs would have been about $11,800, which is less than House B. House A, if they listed with us, would be 1% on the listing side, or $11,800. House B, the listing side, would have been about $15,250. House A, if they're paying a 2.5% buyer side, it'd be $29,500. House B, if they were paying a 2.5% buyer side, which we know they only paid 2%, but if they were paying 2.5%, would have been $38,125, so much more than House A. Yet the proceeds on House A were $1,126,900. Yet the proceeds on House B was $1,306,375. For a difference of $179,475. With the 0 upfront cost to rehab your house, there are no hidden fees, there's no interest, there's no income required, and there's no credit checks. So the evidence is clear that rehabbing your house before you sell it will put more money in your pocket. So if you'd like to get a free, no pressure, no obligation walkthrough of your house, where I can tell you how much more profit you would make when you sell your house by doing certain repairs with no upfront cost, then just call the number that's on the screen or visit the link that's on the page and put in your information, and I will be happy to come and visit with you and just hang out and just share with you what I can. Let's get back to the predictions. In 92782. So normally I would just give this a big green flag, good to go. Everything's great for homeowners, condo owners in the 92782 zip code, but I'm going to give it a light green flag. Okay, some other areas in Tustin got a yellow flag, but you guys are lucky you get a light green flag, and it's not because of the data we just looked at. The data we looked at is really pretty good. The reason you're getting a light green flag is because of some new information that just came out that we're going to talk about right now. But real quick, let's recap. So, negatives. Well, there's a very slight decrease in the average sales price. Okay. The abnormal number of homes falling out of escrow. We had 75% of all the homes that accepted an offer in that 1 month fell out of escrow. It's crazy. It is insanity to me. Okay. Positive. People continue to overbid, right? We're at 105%. Average cost per square footage is up. New listings are low, so there's low competition. Month supply, very low. Closed sales. Anytime there's a sale, it's clearing out that competition, right? So you have all these things that are in your favor as a homeowner. So let's talk about some of the issues that cause me to concern and say, it's a light green flag. And that is that, first, this one's not so critical, but it's important to understand. It's important to know about the Mortgage Bankers Association. They put out this report about the 3rd week of October that says that mortgage interest rates are expected to increase to 4% by the end of 2022. That's for a 30-year fixed mortgage. You know, when you look at it, you go, oh, big deal. It's 4% because right now we're, right about the 3% range. Well, it's important to get it because as interest rates increase, what ends up happening is that the typical buyer, for every 1% that the rates increase eliminates about $60,000 in buying power. So now when you have that condo that you have for sale for $70,000 or $700,000, you know, you're fully expecting to get that. The people who are looking at that condo, at your condo, and are excited about buying that for $700,000, suddenly if the prices, or if the rates go up 1%, suddenly they can only now afford a $640,000 condo, right? And so they evaporate. But you go, okay, well, there's other people who are looking to buy, but if there's somebody who is looking at $760,000 condos, right? They're a little more upgraded, and they lose their $60,000 of buying power. Now they have to come down and, sorry to put it this way, but settle for your condo. They were looking at this one, but now they have to come down and look at your condo to consider buying. And typically what happens, I've seen this over and over and over again, as rates go up, buyers, once they started looking at the properties that they can afford, and they're like excited about it and they're ready to go, and then something happens and they go, oh, we have to downgrade, they're not happy, and they most of the time just go, let's just wait till later, we'll look again in the future. And they pull themselves out of the buyer pool, right? And so now the buyer pool dwindles down, inventory starts to increase, prices start making appropriate adjustments. So while this isn't critical now, it is important to understand and just be aware of as we move forward throughout 2022 at the end of the year. Now, this article and the next one raised huge red flags for me. Huge red flags for me. So Zillow announces 25% of workforce will be laid off. Home buying business will end. Done. So you got to understand Zillow's business model. Zillow, part of their business model was to buy people's homes. So they would come and they would buy your home for 60 or 70 cents on the dollar, and then they would refresh it, put new flooring, new paint, you know, whatever, and then turn around and sell it for a profit. And profit's the key word here, because in these articles they're saying that the reason that they're shutting down their buying division is because in their Q3 earnings report, they're saying, you know, we were lacking profitability. But if you're lacking profitability, why would you dump or shut down that division? Why would you stop buying properties that are going to give you profit, right? And this article came out, it says Zillow seeks to sell 7,000 homes after flipping halt. So they're halting their flipping business, is how they're referring to it. If it's profitable, why would you stop it? So I'm not buying it. They say, you know, not profitable, yet they have all these properties that they own, and they can buy, and you know, if the market is doing really well, they could buy more properties and make more profit. It doesn't make sense that they would completely shut it down and stop buying properties and then try to dump 7,000 properties into the marketplace, which you have to, you just got to look at that and understand that Zillow is one of the largest, if not the largest, data aggregator for the entire real estate space. They have so much data and they analyze so much data all the time, every day, that if they made the decision now to dump these properties and stop buying homes altogether, what do they know that we don't know? Okay, they don't do it because it's not because it's profitable, and then they just decided, oh well, we had a bad report. Do you think Zillow ever had a bad earnings report? Yeah, all the time. I'm telling you, this raised a big red flag for me. And it's something that we need to be wary of going forward. We need to be watching out on this. And also, if they dump 7,000 properties into the marketplace, that creates a perspective that, oh my gosh, inventory is now increasing and flooding the marketplace. Competition is now increasing, and buyers have more to choose from, so now competitive pricing starts happening. So just really be aware of this and pay attention to it. Do we know what's going to happen? No, we just don't know what's going to happen, but stuff happens. But also, on the other hand, you have the media who is constantly flooding the marketplace with articles like this one. I see them every single day. Should you prepare for a housing market crash? Okay, every day I see these articles. Are they priming people for this because they're trying to be the ones to say, aha, we called it first, okay? But whatever. But it does create a little doubt in buyers' minds that that could happen. And in this article, that I love, this headline's brilliant in my opinion. No one seems worried about a housing bubble, just like the last time the bubble burst. Okay, and it's true. 2008, when the bubble burst, there were people who, even after things started going downhill, they're like, no, it's never going to end, right? People lost their shirts. Okay, so when the media is pushing stuff out to people and telling them this is what you need to think, then that's what people start to think. And then finally, we just still don't know what the effects of the eviction and foreclosure moratoria are going to be on the marketplace. We just don't know. The state says that they're going to help renters catch up on back payments. They say that they're going to help owners of rental properties catch up on any mortgage payments that they miss. But as of yet, I haven't seen anything that says that they have actually started issuing those funds. Nothing. All right, so if you've seen something, let me know. I'd love to see it. The reason that that's important is because if the owners of some of these properties who haven't received rent for a year cannot make their payments to the bank, do you think that those properties are going to get foreclosed on? Yes, they're going to get foreclosed on. And a majority of the rental properties out there are owned by individuals like you and me. So this will increase the inventory in the marketplace. And then as far as the eviction or foreclosure moratorium, we had just recently, I want to say it was end of October, I saw that there was still 1.2 million people who were still in forbearance. So they haven't made their payments, or they haven't worked out something with the bank. The problem is that at the end of a forbearance, the payments tend to go up. So if they couldn't afford the payment before the forbearance, and then they got laid off, or they got let go, or they quit their job, or whatever it was, were living off of unemployment, and now they have to start making a payment and it goes up. Are they getting the same or better job? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But if not, what's going to happen is the banks are going to start issuing these foreclosures. But there's an interesting dynamic that's happening because the Consumer Financing Protection Bureau, the CFPB, put out a warning, I don't want to say it was June or July of this year, to the banks that said, you will do everything in your power, bank, to help these people stay in their homes. And it's like, okay, fine, what does that mean? And generally speaking, what that means is it means they're going to do a loan modification of some kind. They're either going to adjust their rate to help bring the payment down, they're going to give them a shorter payment for a period of time, or they're going to extend their amortization of their loan from like a 30 to a 40 year to bring those payments down. But in the end of the day, if they still can't make their payments, they're still going to get foreclosed on. But with that warning, the CFPB says they're going to issue millions of dollars in fines for banks who don't try to help people through this. The banks they're not going to do like 2008, where they just started slapping out foreclosures like it was just, nothing. There were just hundreds of them a day, right? No, I think what they're going to do is they're going to put a few out, test the waters, see if anybody else is doing it. And, hey, are you putting out foreclosures? Are you, issuing foreclosures? Yeah, we're doing a few. Okay, well, we'll do a few. Well, we'll do a few too, because nobody wants to pop their head up out of the hole and get whacked by the CFPB with a multi-million-dollar fine for not helping the consumer. And so we're going to see a trickle of those foreclosures. This is what I think. This is my opinion, purely my opinion. Now, with that being said, you have to understand the foreclosure process takes a minimum of 121 days, so 4 months. Minimum of 121 days. Sometimes it can take longer. So if they're trickling these out, even if they started today, it's going to be 4 months down the road before we actually start seeing those properties come onto the market. But if people are smart, if they're in that situation, they sell now. Take the equity. Right? And then figure out what they're going to do next. So anyways, these are some of the things that cause me just a little bit of concern as we go forward into the market. As it stands for today, man, you guys are good to go. You're thinking about selling your condo in Tustin Ranch? Give me a call. Be happy to help you out. Ask about our 1% listing fee. And, We'll talk to you another time. There's my number on the screen if you want to reach out to me. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.